Well, good morning guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today I am back on the quad. This badass hybrid quad that I built several years back. What I'm going to be doing today is tie rods. Not being able to steer this thing is kind of a problem. I want to do that, and then I want to put correct bolts in there. So I mean, I got to run to the hardware store, buy some bolts. I want to do an alignment. If you see how I made this offset, that's how I'm able to adjust the camber. One problem I have with this is these brake lines, they're not long enough. I had custom ones built for this quad when I originally built this quad, but that front brake lever slash master cylinder is on this quad. Basically what I did when that frame broke, I had this quad and I took everything off of that quad and put it on this one. And as you can see, I had these custom steel braided lines all made up, and they're on this. So I might be taking this apart, putting the stock brake lines onto this one, and then using that on the ones that it was built for. Hey Turbo, what's going on, buddy? So, one bit of good news this morning. What I discovered was that the threads in these rods, which I'm going to be using because they're longer, match the threads on this. And in the past video I mentioned how I'm going to basically just be cutting off the threaded portion, putting them on in there, and then I can put the ball joints on there. So I'm going to get busy doing that. I'm going to have to adjust the length of these, which means I'm going to have to cut and weld these rods, I'm sure. But yeah, let's get some work done, and once I'm able to steer the thing, I'll get the correct bolts. I like the nylon lockers so things don't back out, and we'll do some alignment, and this front end will be put together. So I'm gonna get to work, and I'll be back in a little bit when I'm a little further along. We'll see you in a bit. But hey guys, I got some tie rods made up. They're still gonna have to be adjusted, but before I can adjust the length of them, I have to mimic this piece here for the other spindle right here. This one's missing it. So I got some 1/4-inch plate over here, and I got to cut it out, drill some holes, and basically make one of these go in the opposite direction for the other side. So let's get that done. All right guys, so I got this thing pulled off here, and I traced it out on some plate. Basically it's going to go like that. It's a little bit wide. This thing's a little bit sloppy, so I'll be doing all the fine cutting with the grinding. I want to get that bend in there. I'm going to cut it a little bit long so I can get that bend in there, because that's going to suck up some of the length. So I need this thing a little bit longer. Cut it out, I'll bend it, and then I'll drill the holes afterwards. So yeah, let's see how this thing goes. Okay, that is to the point. Be able to clean it up with the grinder, drill some holes, and we'll be mounting that on the other spindles so we can get them tie rods made up. Yep, we're gonna have steering here pretty quick. I think that is elevating it at the exact amount. So I'm going to leave that be like that. Mark for these holes. I can clean this up a little bit more there. And yeah, this other one's made up. Perfect. All right, guys, well, light comes straight from the factory. Pretty darn close for freehand. So I'm gonna get these mounted up and we will be making some tie rods. All right, guys, well, that's it for today. I got the tie rods closed. It's funny, ended up taking 1.5 inches out of this tie rod and nothing out of this one, and doesn't look bad. Tomorrow I'm gonna do the actual alignment. I said I got to get proper nuts and bolts here and do the proper alignment on it and see if I got to adjust those tie rods anymore. But yeah, we made some progress today. That thing is looking cool. These tires are not holding air. I don't know if and get some tubes for them, find out where they're leaking. Maybe it's just on the bead, or maybe I just need new tires. I definitely need some paddles for the back. But yeah, this thing's starting to look more and more like a quad. Old Turbo, he's having the lazy days of summer here. Don't worry, buddy, I'll give you a good brushing this weekend and we'll get some of that coat off you. How's that? Spoiled boy, that one. All right, guys, tomorrow back on it, do some bolts, some alignment. What else? Can't do the brake lines. I decided I'm gonna have brake lines made up. Just leave that quad alone. This one I'll have some brake lines made. They got to be a little bit longer. As you can see, they're not reaching. They got to go all the way down to there. So they're a good 4 inches short. So I'll mess with that later. Then get the plastics on there and be on a hunt for a motor. I need a motor, I need a pipe, carburetor, everything. CDI unit, everything. But what I like about this one, it's a little bit bigger than the stock ones because of the suspension change. So it's a little bit more comfortable for me to ride. So yeah, let's get it together. This is another thing. There's a bushing that goes down in there, the steering stem bushing. So anyways, guys, that's it for today. Everyone have a good evening, and yeah, more work tomorrow. We'll see you.